Hi guys, welcome to this live video, live with Arica Angelo. How to stop feeling sorry for yourself. That sounds a little rough, doesn't it? But it's true. We can get in a trap. We can get in a cycle of going, why is it just me? Why is life working this way for me? Sorry, I just had a bit of a moment. I just realized I'm in my Airbnb here in Texas. And I just saw the Chanel signs and then I'm wearing the Chanel. I was like, oh, that's a Chanel here. So welcome, John. Welcome, Yo Williams. So glad to have you guys here. How are you guys doing? Just checking in with you. How are you coping? How's your day? Has it been good? Do you feel good? Are you struggling today? Hey, Thomas, how are you? Let me know what the temperature is with you guys. How are things going in life right now? Are we good? You know, today I had, actually really quickly, let me just share before I forget, because the last time I forgot. I want to just put my website right there. So really quick, I just want to tell you before I continue, if you go to my website right now, anyone who's part of my live community, if you've never gotten coaching with me before, right now I'm running a special just for my community here. If you book a coaching session with me, you will get free access to my emotional warrior program. So it's like a buy one, get one free kind of thing. I'm just doing this for my community here. So obviously there's a timeline. It's for these live videos. So if you do it in that time frame, or if you have joined my emotional warrior program, when you book a coaching session with me, you will get the second one for free. So just my gift to you guys. So if you're interested in that, you can go to my website or you can email me at erica@aricaangelo.com. So I have had one of those days. So it seems like some of you have. Cayman's just gotten home from work. John says it's very busy and hot in Florida. Darren says you are struggling. All right, Darren, I hope that this helps you as well. Bert says just getting out of work, a hot day. Yeah, I'm in Texas and it's always hot here. So Cayman's trying to heal from a burnout. Thomas is hanging in there. Yo, William says, good in you. So let me kind of tell you, let's talk about like, how do you stop feeling sorry for yourself? Because here's the thing, when we're struggling, which it sounds like some of you guys are, I know I've had a rough day myself. And so when you're struggling, you know, it's very, hey, Moonshine, glad to have you here, babe. It's very easy to allow our minds to go into a loop and to start saying things like this. And I'm going to share with you why it's super dangerous to stay in the loop. So it's okay to have compassion for yourself. 100% have compassion for yourself. But when you start feeling sorry for yourself and you start victimizing yourself and you start putting yourself in the lens of a victim, that is super dangerous. And I'm going to tell you why that is so dangerous. And trust me, you guys, I did it. I will tell you a story about my life, about how I did this for years. And it just made my life worse. And I will tell you about that. I think sometimes, you know, you can watch YouTubers and go, or whoever you feel influenced by or inspired by it, and you look at where they are today, but man, the struggle before, like, so same as, I mean, you guys, hey, Blair, I'm so glad you're here, babe. Same as you guys. Like I had a rough day. I've been I'm here in America to see family, but also to get my visa for France. And I have a flight booked this Friday and I get an email from the embassy saying, hey, we're missing some documents. And I'm like, no, we can't do this. We cannot do this. And so I was calling person. Have you had one of those days where you're trying to be strong and you're trying to find a solution and you're just hitting up against the wall. I'm sure some of you guys have felt like this in life. And it was one of those days where I didn't get any sleep. The people above me in my Airbnb were stomping on the floor at 4:30 in the morning. So I had no sleep. And then this situation arises. And so I'm trying to find a solution. I'm trying to find a solution. And no matter what I do, everything just keeps stopping me. And so what do you do? How do you not get into the loop of feeling sorry for yourself? One, this is the balance between having compassion for yourself and not going into victim land. So I naturally was pissed. So I did what my somatic therapist taught me to do of when you're angry, be angry. And she said, you just got to punch on the bed. So I went into the room, let out my anger, and I was like, this, and just hit the bed, let out the anger because I was angry, get the frustration out. I don't need to stuff my emotions because that's not loving yourself. That's not valuing yourself. It's actually punishing yourself. So it makes it worse. Get out the emotions. And so I was like, okay, I let out the anger, got to get back into finding the solution mode. And I'm like, I just need things to be easier. Here's where we can get in a lot of trouble is what could have happened today is when I got that message, I could have gone into a loop of saying, why are things so hard? Why are things so difficult? Why is it just me? Why does everything work out for everyone else? And you see what happens? We start like comparing ourselves to other people, assuming that their lives are so much better. And then we start downplaying ourselves and what's going on in our life. And then we start feeling sorry for ourselves. So why is that dangerous? It's dangerous because of this. Because, energy is energy, it's energy, it's energy. So it's well known that when we are grateful, when we have that determining mindset of, I'm going to find the solution for this, like when we're geared towards that, what happens is we put ourselves in a vibrational match to where like good stuff starts happening. It's like, have you ever noticed like the more grateful you are, the easier life gets, which is why people say, have a gratitude journal, be grateful. They're saying it for a reason, because when you're staying in that place of gratitude, then all of a sudden life starts working out for you. So this morning before that situation had happened, I was like, you know what? I have favor, this and that. And so sure enough, I kept hitting against the wall and I go to get some documents. The ladies there were not helpful. Sometimes women are not nice to other women. I just got to say, if you walk in and you look like a successful woman, sometimes women are just not nice to each other, and that's not cool. And it took a man who saw me and he said, ma'am, is everything okay? And I said, no, I need these documents. This has to happen today. I'm trying to get this visa. And he said, ma'am, please come in my office. I will help you out. And I was like, you are a godsend. Thank you so much for helping me. And so had I had just gone, people are against me, everything's hard for me. And if I had stayed in that, which trust me, when those emotions are going like that, it's easy to go there. It's super easy to just slip into that. But here's the thing, when you slip into that, that doesn't give you your answers. Especially like, let's just keep it real. Like I'm talking about a visa. Let's talk about relationships. When you've been single for a long time and you're watching every YouTube video, you're buying online programs, like you're doing everything you know to do. And the opposite sex is just not giving you the time of day. You just cannot seem to make headway. It is easy to go down that slippery slope and say, nothing works out for me. What's wrong with me? All women, all men hate me. Why is my life so difficult? It's super easy to slip into that. But what happens is, you see movements like this, like MGTOW, where these guys are freaking angry. They've been burned by women and now they just hate women. And it's like, I promise you, their lives are miserable. I promise you, they're addicted to porn. They're alcoholics. They're obsessed with work. They don't have people in their lives who just love them for them. because they've just shut themselves off. They've allowed themselves to be such a victim. And some of them have gone through really tough, hard things. But when we go through hard things and we allow ourselves to stay there, it's like if you're going through a desert, if you're going through a drought, if you're going through a hard time, hence the word, go through it. Don't park there. Don't set up a house. Don't lay your bed there. Don't bring a bunch of snacks and camp out. No, move through it. And so when you're at a place where you're having a hard time, you're doing all you know to do, I'm talking to myself here, and you're not getting the results that you want. It's okay to have emotions about that. We don't need to bypass this with toxic positivity. That is not what I'm encouraging you to do here. It's not like everything's just wonderful and it's fine. And even though this is driving me crazy, everything's fine. No, that's BS. That's like gaslighting yourself. Don't do that. If you're pissed, be pissed. Go to bed, punch it out. If you're sad and hurting, cry it out. Like if you're frustrated, shout it out. Like let your emotions have a place. Don't stuff them. That is part of moving through them. You can't move through something that you suppress. That's really good. I'm going to say that again. You can't move through something that you suppress. So when you feel those things, let it out. And then you got to tell yourself, okay, I'm taking care of myself. I allowed myself to feel those emotions. And now we got to keep moving forward, because staying here and camping out in this wilderness is not going to get me to my promised land. It's not going to get me to my goal. It's not going to get me to my desire. It's not going to get me to where my opportunity and my success wait for me. Okay. So this is why we don't want to continue to feel sorry for ourselves. There's a big difference between having compassion for yourself, having empathy for yourself, and then there's the other side where you just feel sorry for yourself, where you victimize yourself. This one allows you to move through this situation. This one allows you to camp out, stay in the situation, keep getting the same results. Does this make sense to you guys? Bert says, I'm in California. Yes, positive thinking. Find someone you can talk to. It's true. And that's what I did. I reached out to someone. I picked up the phone and I'm like, I'm frustrated. Like I just keep hitting wall after wall and I need to let this out. And that helps sometimes. Sometimes just having someone who has compassion for you and empathy for you, it helps. It helps to just go, and let them hear what's going on. And to let those emotions out. Penguin, I'm so glad you're here, darling. Blair says, yes, I've had plenty of those days. New Gris says, I slip into the habit of saying I have the worst luck. Yes, we got to quit saying that. Like I don't, Thomas says, I say the same thing about luck too. Yeah, we have to change the things that we speak over ourselves, you guys. So I told you I would tell you guys a story. Orville, I'm so glad you're here, babe. Orville is always giving me so much love on Twitter. Thank you for that. He's always like spreading my work with everyone. It means so much. I would love if the rest of you guys, if you did that for me, that'd be amazing. It really helps me out. So let me tell you this situation. So I left everything in, I left everything in Texas, and I had eventually moved to Captain Fandom Nerd. So glad you're here, Roger Smith. I feel like I've been MGTOW since I was 13. I'm 66 now. Without wanting it, always seemed like it was my only option. Oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that, Roger. Taman says, I had days that I will talk down to myself. Okay. I'm glad that we are covering this because it seems like there are a lot of you guys here. You're like, yes, this is resonating. So this is good. So here's the thing. I had left everything and I moved to LA and I had big, big dreams, huge dreams, right? And so I wasn't prepared for moving to a massive city. Had no idea what I was signing up for when I moved to Los Angeles. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't know a lot of people there. I was like, I have this dream and I want to be an actress and I want to be a singer and I want to be a model and I'm special. And then I just get to LA and it was just like being in a ring with like Mike Tyson. I was just getting whooped left and right. And it was like, I would just come up for air and then just another knock. And I'd come up for air and another knock. And so this is what I would start saying over myself. Everything's so hard for me. And then it didn't help that, the people that I was surrounded with all were kids who came from money. So they like had measly jobs that didn't make anything, but because their parents were paying for everything, they could afford the high rent. They could afford the expensive restaurants. They could afford, filling up their car and just driving wherever they wanted and going on vacations and buying expensive shoes. That wasn't me. I was happy to pay my rent. I mean, there was a time where I was like combing through my counters going, what can I actually eat? Because ran out of food. Like it was super hard. And so because I didn't have the skills back then, or I didn't realize that I had them, but I didn't know how to use them, of being resourceful, talking to the right people, asking for help. I wasn't using any of the tools. Like now when I get in a situation where I feel stuck, I'm like, I might still freak out, but then I get my head on and I find a solution. And if I don't know a solution, then I reach out to people, or I'm very blessed and someone like intervenes. Because I think sometimes you need that divine intervention. You need to have people in your corner who go, I got you. I'm gonna help you through this. And thank goodness I have people like that in my life as well. But at the time I was so shameful. So the idea of asking people for help, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want people to know how bad things were. So I'm going through hard times and I have shame. Disaster situation, disaster. This is how you get into a loop of feeling bad for yourself. And I would get angry and I would cry and I'd be scared and I would just isolate and spend time alone, like all the worst things that a person could do. Do you think that any of that made my situation better? Do you think it turned things around in my life when I was like in bed crying and going, all my friends are out living the life in Los Angeles and I'm happy to just pay my rent and I'm looking for food in my counters and in my cabinets. And it's like, why me? Why is everything so hard for me? And I would just, there we go, the feeling sorry for myself. And I would just boom, boom, boom. And it never, ever, ever changed a damn thing. If anything, it made me feel worse about myself as a person, because when I started saying those things, guess what message I was telling myself? Guess what I was teaching myself about me? We can teach ourselves about ourselves. And what I was teaching myself is you can't handle conflict. You don't know how to find solutions. Life doesn't work out for you. Everything's hard for you. And I was keeping this whole loop going and it just continued to make things worse. I went from this girl who had a bunch of dreams to a person who was just all of their that dark stuff that was already inside was just coming out, because tough situations will bring out what's going on underneath. Thomas says, no answer to the question, to the why question. What's the why question? You have to tell me that. Why question of the day, why ask why? That's good. Moonshine says, I use meditation to clean my energy and elevate it for sure. Primal Scream, Motley Crue, Orville Nation, AFK. What does that mean? Thomas, it beats you down. So yeah, what I did was I cut myself in a loop. And I love that Moonshine says about meditation, because eventually that's what I had to do. I was like, feeling sorry for myself is not making this better. It's making me feel worse. And I think that's the thing, like when you have a victim mentality, you think the louder you cry, that's going to make your solution come, and it just doesn't. And so I knew I had to change the inside before my outside world could change. And Oh, yeah, Thomas, that's really good. Why does it happen to me? Am I part of a family curse? Yeah, you start thinking like there's like a generational curse going on in your life. And there might be some truth to that. Like, I'm not going to throw that out because I do believe in very spiritual practices. I do believe that things get handed down in our DNA. I do believe in generational curses. I believe in this sort of stuff. So if someone says, I feel like I have this generational thing, I'm like, you could, or I have generational trauma or things like that. Like, that stuff is real. So I learned that I had to do something on the inside. Like, my intuition was like, something has to change. And I've shared this story with you guys that while the rest of my friends were going out to brunches, which I couldn't even go to those because I couldn't afford them. Hey, Ninja Wolf, I'm just glad you're here, darling. I would go to, away from keyboard driving. Oh, okay, Orville, be careful, darling. When they were out going to brunches, which I couldn't afford. So I would go to a Barnes and Noble, and I shared this with you guys before, and I would just read books every week. Every week. I got a hold of The Secret. I'm not going to lie. I think it's got some very substantial information in that. And so I just realized I have to change my inner world. So it wasn't, for me, my journey was not just like changing my thoughts, but it was healing old emotions, healing trauma, facing the things that I was afraid of, allowing people to love on me, meditating, like I just started doing all of it. I was like, something has got to give. And for me, what my lifesaver was reading books, which is why I love that we have YouTube now and that we can just listen to people who've already been through stuff. Like, you guys are listening to me. It's like, now before I would just read books and I'm like, I don't know how to change this. So I was just grabbing every book that I could. Now we're in such a blessed time that if you're having a problem, like, how do I stop feeling sorry for myself, that you can just literally type it on YouTube and boom, here's my YouTube talking about it. Like, we have like the things that I used to have to search for. It's like, now it's at the edge of our fingertips. And it's like, if I'm feeling this, boom, there's a video about it. There's a meditation for it. There's a guide to help you through that. Like, it's brilliant what we have now. But the more that you stay in that energy of feeling sorry for yourself, the longer you prolong your situation. So I want to encourage you with this. I want you to say to yourself, hey, so am I in self-compassion? Am I giving myself empathy, or am I in victim mode? Which one am I in? And then it's like this conversation that you have to have with your mind and with your heart. If I stay in compassion and empathy for myself, which means I allow myself to feel my emotions, I get my emotions out, I let people in to support me, I'm talking about what's going on, I'm still being proactive, I'm taking step by step. If I'm doing that, if I stay in that mode of operation, I am going to get through this circumstance. But if I stay in victim mode, if I keep telling myself that life is hard for me and I keep feeling sorry for myself, I'm essentially throwing down a sleeping bag in this hellhole that I'm in, and I'm going to eat on some powdered donuts, and I'm going to eat some Cheetos, and I'm just going to stay camped here. And I ain't never gone anywhere. And this situation that is causing me so much pain will continue to show me so much pain. It will continue to bring more pain in my life. So I have two options. Either I do the self-compassion route, or I do the victim route. Self-compassion will help me move through this quicker. Victim mentality, feeling sorry for myself, is going to keep me here for the rest of my life. And that sounds really harsh, but it's a reality. It is the reality of things. So it's like, yeah, it's like, have your pity party, let it last for a little bit, and then start taking the next steps. Does this make sense to you guys? Blair says, the thing that keeps me at peace is when I listen to worship music like Maverick City. Yes, that's very helpful. I listen to sometimes Bethel, their relaxation piano music, just solo. I listen to that. I listen to a lot of frequencies. I have a secret guy I listen to on YouTube. I don't know if I feel right about sharing his work because it's pretty deep and intense. If you're called to that, if this piques your interest, email me at aricaangelo.com, and I will email you who I listen to. But sometimes it's just listening to meditations, because like, here's the thing, we're made of water. So when you listen to like frequency music, we're made of water. So when you're listening to frequency music, it just tunes your frequency. So if you're discouraged and you can't pull yourself out of it, type in YouTube, how to feel better frequency. Just make it simple. And then all of these frequencies will pull up and you can just hit play, go to sleep, and allow them to just kind of clean out your system. Penguin says meditation releases bad feelings. Sometimes it really hurts when released. I actually shout and roll up. That is so good. And you're right. Sometimes when the stuff comes up, it's super painful and we got to cry. We got to scream it out. We got to, when you say roll up, we got to lay in that fetal position to self-soothe and give ourselves compassion and let ourselves know, hey, you're not alone in this. I'm supporting you. I'm right here with you. I got you. Like, that is super important to move through it. That is self-compassion right there. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel bad about your situation. Show yourself some constructive compassion, but don't stay part in the loop. Ninja Wolf says, the more you're feeling sorry for yourself, the more you're being useless. It's kind of harsh, man, but there's some truth to that. Maybe some compassion will help you move through it. Yo Williams says, tough people last, tough times don't. That is 100. Yes, Thomas, Thomas is giving you guys the answers right there. Thank you for that, Thomas. 432 and 528 frequency. Type that into your YouTube, press play, turn the phone over, and go to bed and let the music do it for you. Cayman Music says, I still read books and go on YouTube to find videos that will help me out. I'm the same. I'm with you, Cayman. I still love reading. I don't read as much as I want to, but I agree with you. Thomas says, keep on pushing through. I would say keep taking steps, but also give yourself compassion. Thomas says, if it's really bad, I tried the 999 frequency. Yeah, Thomas, you should send me an email. Thomas is one of my emotional warriors. Thomas, send me an email. Let me know what's going on, my man. I'm concerned. Ninja Wolf. Sometimes the things you say make me chuckle. Ninja Wolf, punch the lights out of the word sorry. Ninja Wolf says, yep, that's what people are if they're sitting there feeling sorry for themselves. John says, yes, you're right, Arica. I have tried that. I found a lot of peace that way. I'm glad that that is supporting you. So also, just to remind you guys, if you're just coming in, I put my website at the top. Right now, just for my community, I am offering for just a short time. If you have never coached with me right now, if you sign up for a coaching session with me, you will get free access to my Emotional Warrior program. So it's like buy one, get one free. And if you've already done my Emotional Warrior program, if you sign up for a coaching session, you will get the second one for free. Just my little special gift for you guys. So it's there for the taking. You can email me at aricaangelo.com if you have more questions. Blair, you are so right. He's like, you can always hug yourself so you can feel better. Yes, let's just do that right now. You can take that right arm. I told you this before. I'll tell you again. You take that right arm and then you put it under your left armpit. You take your left hand, you put on your right shoulder and take a deep breath. I got to do it again. That felt so good. Uncross your legs to put your feet on the ground. It feels so good. I love doing this. My somatic therapist taught me that. Oh, it just puts you in this like vibe. You're like, and I'm good. And I'm just going to chill here and just like, look at this palm tree outside. Moonshine says, we need to stop resisting difficult circumstances, but choose to understand and overcome. That is so well said. That is really well said because, I have to say, like, for my situation, when this happened today, when I got that email saying, like, we need more documents, and I was like, you're kidding me. I did everything right. Uh, and they're like, we need more documents. And it's like that there's that part of us as a human, you're like, I just want things to be easier. And there is an element of life. I don't think that life should always be a struggle. I don't sign up for that. I used to believe that. And now I'm like, it ain't always got to be that way. Sometimes life can be easy. And we just say thank you for when it is. So, but also when challenges do come, when I walked away, when I found this, well, I found the solution, but someone also intervened and helped me. And that shout out to Marcus, who helped me out today. He was so kind to me, and sometimes you need some favor, you need some luck in your corner, but that persistence and that just being open to receive help from someone really changed the situation. And so when I got in my car, I was like, it's not really my car. It's rented on Turo. I love this app, by the way. I should get some sponsorship from them. When I got in the car, I just sat down and I thought, Arica, I just love how resourceful you are. I love that you're quick to find solutions and you keep pushing through. And I love that you have favor on your life. And so I love that the two of them work beautifully together for you. And I just had to appreciate what was going on, what I did, and what had also happened for me with that gentleman, Marcus, helping me out. Thomas says, thank you, Eric. I tend to isolate when I feel this way. I figured I don't want to bother you. No. You need to send me an email, babe. Send me an email, Thomas. I care very much about you. And, it just means a lot that you're one of my emotional warriors. So send me an email. Let me know what's going on. Ninja Wolf says, Arica, you're taking boxing lessons, right? I'm not taking boxing lessons. I've tried boxing once, twice, and it's exhausting. Boxing is hard. Thomas Watson says, I've been finding strength in the Bible. It works for people, so I tried and it's been working. Plus you and workouts and meditation. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like sometimes the book of Psalms is very soothing. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Sometimes we just need those words, just be like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Yes, Thomas, definitely telling a friend is super helpful. Tucker Talent says, when you do what's hard, life will be easy. But if you do what's easy, life will be hard. Choice is yours. Well said, man. You guys are throwing out them truth bombs today, man. You guys are bringing that heat. This is why I love these YouTube lives, because when I just do the recorded videos, it's okay, it's me, I talk, and then that's it. And then you guys can comment later. But man, when I'm talking about stuff and you guys just start spitting out that fire, spitting out that wisdom, or shooting out your vulnerability, you're like, I'm struggling. All of that collective energy is just beautiful. It is magic, absolute magic. Thomas says, thank you. I feel like I isolate. I don't spread the negativity to anyone else. No, babe. No. You know what? People, we're not as fragile as you think we are, Thomas. It's okay. You need support, my man. Ninja Wolf says you should try it. It's the only way to erase all your feelings of the past and break yourself out of the sorry bottle. Sean says, good evening, Arica. Have you listened to any good music lately? I actually have. I just got a hold of these songs today. It's called Tonight by Lai Ning. It's really nice. I can't play it on here because I'll get in trouble with YouTube. But I just found this song today and it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Captain Fandom Nurse says, I am in physical pain and that hurts how I think. Whoa, Captain Fandom Nerd, you are bang on. The physical pain, that becomes a real challenge because I've been there when I was in Bali and I got COVID the first time, and it was before they announced that it was COVID. And I just knew I had this raging fever. I couldn't move out of bed. I couldn't breathe. And it just wasn't going away. It was really hard to move through that. Captain Fandom Nerd. That's such a fun name. Let me tell you what I did in that time. I watched one comedy show after the next. There's a scripture in the Bible. It says that a merry heart doeth good like medicine. And so when I was going through that rough time, I just watched every comedic thing I could find on Netflix. It was uh, there's this British guy named Jack, and it's like travels with my father or something like that. And that got me through that, because I was like, okay, if I can't like think my way through this and I can't get out of bed and I feel like crap, and I was all alone, like, like my family was gone and my friends were just like, we don't know what to do for you. And so it was just like, I was just in my room sick. And so I watched funny stuff nonstop. And I tell you what, that really helped me. So a merry heart, like happy, merry, a merry heart doeth good like medicine. And so when you don't have the energy to fill yourself up, that's when you go to outside resources like comedy, and just finding some comedy and laughing through it. And sometimes that in itself will give the body that energy to go, okay, we got to help support and heal this body. We got to help him fight through this. And just having comedy, I know it sounds crazy, but give it a try. It's a game changer. Ninja Wolf, cinnamon bun. I love that he calls me this. I know you're the brains and the beauty, but you should at least punch the punching bag. I'm serious. It'll help you. I just started getting into rowing, like that machine, the rowing machine. And I really love that. I'm like, I don't even break a sweat on that. I'm like, this is easy. Oh, thank you for that. Captain Fandom Nerd, you said that listening to me helps you. I love that. That means the world to me. You're so loved, darling. You're so loved. Thomas says, agree with comedy. It's true. Guys, for everyone who's going through a hard time right now, and you're like, okay, Arica, I hear what you're saying. I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I get that self-compassion is a way to go to help me move through it, and then to continue to find solutions. So one, I just want to say this to anyone who's listening, who's going through a challenging time. Like, you are not alone. Like, here I am. I'm right here with you. I'm right here. This community right here, they love you. You are not alone. And I promise you that this may feel like that this is your life, and that there is no hope in sight, and that this is the end of the road, and that you are in this loop that's never going to end. And my darling, I want to say to you that that is simply not the truth. Though it may feel that way, it will not be that way. And so I want to remind you that you are loved, that you are connected to the source of love, that there are answers for your situation, that there are things being worked out behind the scenes that you don't even know of, but that they are working for your good. And so for anyone who's going through a hard time, I just release peace to you. I release hope to you. Where there's despair, we just remove that, and we just breathe in hope, life into your situation, that you are cared for, that your solution is on the way, that brighter days are yours, and that they belong to you, that they are yours, they are your inheritance, and that they're on the way. And listen, here's the real truth. The real truth is the mere fact that you are here tells me that you haven't given up. Like, you coming here is like, help, I'm hanging on by a thread, but I'm looking for hope. And by you coming here says that you're not done fighting. You haven't given up. You're here, you're looking for answers, and you got to be proud of yourself. You're like, I showed up here today. That means I'm going to show up tomorrow. I'm going to find a solution to this. This will not defeat me. This will not knock me down. I am a warrior. I have a strong heart. I find solutions. I find resources. Life is always working for me. That is something I always tell myself. It's when things start going rough and I'm just like, I have to tell myself, somehow this is working for me because life always works out for me. It has to. It is designed that way. It's going to go down that way. So somehow this is working for me and I'm going to continue to find solutions. And the two of us are going to work together at this. Life, God, my angels, the people who love me, everything's working for me and I'm working. And this is going to get resolved. May not happen tonight, may not happen tomorrow, but the next day, it's going to get resolved. This is going to get resolved. Let's see. Ed Moore says, Erica, I have a decision to make. I met this amazing woman thanks to your advice. And I also have a better career offer out of town. I need to find how to make the right decision. Your thoughts? That is super interesting. Like, I feel like, with a career, it's like sometimes we need to have that baseline in terms of being able to support ourselves. I don't know your financial situation, but oftentimes if we're struggling financially, like love is good, but sometimes we need that survival needs met. We need our survival needs met. And so, in that situation, it's typically I personally would go with the career. I know that sounds counterintuitive for someone who gives dating and relationship advice. And then I would find solutions for the relationship. However, if you feel in your gut very strongly about this relationship, then you also have to find a solution for your career there as well. You need both. And so it's just asking yourself, how can I create a win-win situation? If this is a great career opportunity and it's going to make more money for me, then can I put her on a train or can I put her on a plane to come out and see me every week? Like, what is the solution? How can I have both? I believe in life that we are meant to have our cake and we are meant to eat it too. Cake is meant to be eaten, not to be stared at. Cayman says, it's better to things for yourself and not trying to please others who don't appreciate you. Oh, that is the truth. You cannot go around trying to make other people happy. That is a loser's game. Moonshine says, yeah, to feel better, I watch Mallrats or Eddie Murphy Raw. Oh my God, Eddie Murphy Raw. That dude is hilarious. Thomas says, never give up, never give in. John says, I'm still looking for a bride. I love that. Penguin says, exactly. I'm holding on and winning thanks to you. I'm getting it. I'm so proud of you, Penguin. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of you. Blair says, Erica, I just want to give a big fat hug. I wish you were here. I would give you a massive hug back. Sean McMillan. By the way, I've talked to several different people over the last few days outside of the normal, answering the challenges. I am so proud of you. It's something private between Sean and and I'm super proud of you. I know what you're talking about, and I'm very proud of you. Keep freaking going. I bet you're enjoying it as well. Tucker says, Erica, what is your best advice for a young adult just getting started in life that is going through a hard time at the same time? Oh, Tucker, I have been there. And, I don't know if you caught the beginning part of this where I told my story about moving to LA and struggling. One, I really encourage you to pour into look for mentors. And when I say mentors, I don't mean you have to hire a coach. I mean people online. Look at people who you want the results that they have. And here's the other thing. You got to listen to your gut on whose advice resonates with you, because there are some people that I used to listen to when I would go through hard times that were saying the right things, but my intuition was like, something about this person doesn't feel right. You're saying all the right things, but something doesn't feel right. And I just knew that person, they weren't wrong or right. Their path wasn't for me. Like, they were not built the way I'm built. And so it wasn't for me. And so I would find people that I really admired, and I would read their books. I'd listen to their interviews. I'd listen to biographies about their life. Like, listen to other people's journeys, Tucker, because when you're young, you haven't had a lot of life experience. And when you're going through a hard time, you can get in the trap that life is just happening to you and that things are just hard for you. But as you listen to other people's stories, like, I think of like Maya Angelou, like people who have come through really hard things, it's good to hear that because it normalizes hard. It goes, okay, this isn't just happening to me. Like these people went through some really hard things and they were able to find their way through it. And that's part of the alchemist journey is going on the great adventure. And when you meet roadblocks, when you meet calamities, it's having those stories of people who have gone before you and holding on to those stories and going, what part of their story can I apply to my circumstance right now? What did they do in their challenge that I can implement into my life today? The other thing, Tucker, that I know this is really hard to do, it's easier said than done, but I would really encourage you. This sounds very counterintuitive, but play as often as you can. So, whether it's for me, going into nature is play for me. And the reason why play is so important is because the more we get outside of our head and we allow ourselves just to enjoy and be in life, the more situations work out for us. It's like this magic hack to life. It's like the more you enjoy life, the more life enjoys you and gives you better good things, gives you more gifts. So I would really encourage you, like, find those stories of people that resonate with you, that you look up to, take hold of those stories, and also continue finding simple ways to enjoy life, whether it's nature, whether it's spending time with friends. I just have to throw this out there. One thing that I love about the European lifestyle that I think is very different from American lifestyle. I was just talking to a girl the other day at Trader Joe's, and she's from Germany, which was really important to me because my partner is German. And so we were talking about the different cultures. And I told her, I said, what I love about European culture, and when I say that, I mean like France, Germany, these kind of places. I said, these people in the middle of their work days will go out to the water. They'll go for a swim. They'll pack a lunch. And that's what they do on their work break. Whereas Americans, it's like, we need to go to the gym, we work through lunch. And it's just like, we never stop to enjoy life. And she said, and she brought this out and she said, I feel like with Americans, like you guys always have to do expensive things to spend time with each other. You have to go to a restaurant, you have to go have drinks, you have to go here. And it's always, you guys are paying for everything all the time. And I said, you're so right, which is one thing I admire in the French culture, which is why I'm moving there, is like their way of life is I've seen people go and they'll get 5, 7, 10 friends. They'll go sit by the water. They'll bring food from home. They'll bring bottles of wine. Someone will bring some music with the speaker. They'll bring their phone, their iPhone. They'll have a speaker there, and they will sit out for hours laughing, talking politics, talking about what's going on in the world, talking about what's going on in their relationships, talking about the things that inspire them at work. And I've watched them do this over and over again. One time I was in Paris and I saw these younger kids, and I say younger, they were in their 20s, and they were sitting next to me and my friend and I were typical Americans. We're just like sitting there and talking and looking at people and eating and drinking. And these people, they had brought a card game and they were playing a game with like matches and like you had to stick something on your head and I don't know what it was. And we were enjoying them, enjoying life, them bringing this card game to a restaurant, which I was like, you would never see this in America. And they saw us enjoying them and they said, you guys come over here and join us. And I was like, they're like, no, you're going to learn to play this game. And they made us come and learn the game. And so I share all of that to say, like, sometimes we need to get creative with our play. It doesn't always have to cost a lot of money. Sometimes it's just getting some friends, going out and being in nature, packing a lunch, bringing a bottle of wine, and just playing some tunes and just talking about life. I hope that resonates with someone. Ooh, so good. Ronak says, in my experience, American culture is always chasing. It's true. Never pausing until the weekend, at least in big cities. I agree with you. Tucker, I hope that that helped you. Ninja Wolf says, don't let anyone make all the decisions for you. Arica, it's yours, not theirs. That's right. Ed Moore says, Arica, just want to say the reason you are considered the #1 dating and relationship coach is because you bring it real and beast mode. Thank you for your earlier comment. Wow. Oh, I'm going to screenshot that. Ed Morse. That is, thank you. Wow. That's a pretty cool comment. Thank you for saying that. That really means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. That's my heart. That is my heart, to just keep it real with everyone. I remember growing up and being in my teens and in my 20s, and I would listen to people who were like in leadership, and they would always like talk down to people. It was like they had everything figured out, and then they would just talk down to you. And I'd be like, tell me that you poop too. Tell me that you burp. Tell me that you fart. Tell me that you get ear infections. Like what I'm saying is, tell me that you're real. And I think sometimes in leadership, like people try to show up as if they have everything all figured out, and they're just talking down to everybody. And it's like, that's not how we lead. We lead together. It's like, I'm just guiding you, but the reality is you already have the answers inside of you. I'm just taking a flashlight and I'm shining it in your vicinity and going, let's find the answers inside of you. And hey, guess what? I know a lot of stuff, but I don't have everything figured out. And guess what? I have bad days too. And I'm okay with showing up on a YouTube live and going, I had a bad day today and I wanted to feel sorry for myself, but this is where I changed things. This is where I pivoted. And sometimes maybe I'll get on and maybe I didn't pivot it. And maybe I'm like, I got to get better at this. So one thing I will I'll tell you guys, one thing I'm really working on is trying to appreciate myself more. Sometimes, I had some situations where there were some people in my life and I was like, ooh, like these people are not valuing me, which you got to have some self-love to call people out on that and be like, that person's not really valuing me. There's some entitlement there. There's some expectation. There's a lack of appreciation there. And I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. But then I always look at that as a mirror and I go, okay, Arica, if you're having that experience, how are you showing up for yourself? Are you appreciating yourself? And I'm like, ooh, no, I can see, kind of to Ronak's point, like that I keep pushing myself and I'm demanding things and I'm chasing things and not just going, hold up. Look at what you've done. And so that's why today I was like, wow, Arica, I really appreciate that you're like resourceful. I appreciate like where you've taken yourself. So that's my journey that I'm still working through. I love that, Ronak. You are my ride or die for life. Ronak says, keeping it real is her boxing ring. Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. Thank you, Ronak. Oh, I love that, Thomas. That is fantastic. I'm walking while listening to this in nature. That is wonderful. Make sure that you take some deep breaths, Thomas, as you're doing this. When I sign off, make sure you start doing some breathing. Do the box breathing of breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and then holding for 4, and repeating that. Do that while you're in nature, because as you release, nature will fill you back up. It's powerful. And make sure that you touch. I always encourage people, like, if you're out in nature, touch. I don't always do that. I do it for myself. When I'm in nature, I'm always touching trees because I know that there's energy. There's an exchange of when you touch nature, it's like she's there to fill you up. So enjoy her offerings. Blair says, being a leader basically means you show others that you're human, showing on the right way to do things. It's true. I completely agree with that. Guys, this is a really good live. Thank you guys so much for like just being super honest and communicating where you are, communicating how you navigate through things when things get hard, when you want to feel sorry for yourself. The resources that you guys put into motion, like I'm just super, super, super grateful for you guys. I love you so much. I will be back for another live tomorrow. So I can't wait. Ronak, I see your comment, but YouTube is hiding it. Yes, you are. You are bang on about that. Ronak was saying that breathing method helps for bedtime as well. You know what I mean? A little something. All right, guys, I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget my offering. You can go to my website. You can email me, erica@aricaangelo.com. You can do one coaching session with me if you're an emotional warrior, and you get the second one for free. Or if it's your first time doing coaching with me, or if you want to do coaching with me, then I will give you my emotional warrior program for free. That's just my special offer for those of you who are part of this live community. So thank you guys. Ed, I so appreciate you. Thank you for that. Um, Thank you so much, Sean. Guys, I love you. Be loved. Know you're not alone. Know that you're supported, and know that you are way more resourceful and more tenacious than you're realizing. And don't forget it. Love you too, Ninja Wolf. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good evening. If you're in Europe, you are about to wake up pretty soon. Love you guys. Bye.